Hello, this is Nick with IndieGameBundles.com, your #1 spot for information about all indie bundles. In this episode of 10 Indie Minutes, we'll be looking at Really Big Sky, the procedurally generated dual-stick shooter shmup conglomeration that is just so over the top I don't even know where to begin. But we're going to begin at the beginning, and we're going to try out Classic Mode for you and show you what the deal is with this game. So, as you'll see in classic shmup style, we start out just like an R-Type. We have a ship with some crazy laser beams, and there's colors everywhere. And that is a recurring trend with this game. This is one of the most colorful, psychedelic experiences I've ever seen. In fact, if you're prone to seizures, you may not want to keep watching this, because we go to some pretty crazy places in this one. Now, I've been a long-time fan of dual-stick shooters like Geometry Wars, and in fact, I was a little bit obsessed with that one for quite a while. And this one does definitely borrow heavily from that sort of gameplay, but this actually takes it quite a bit further, being that every single time you play this, you're going to be playing a completely different experience. Well, maybe not completely different, but pretty close to it anyway. You're going to experience a whole bunch of different enemies, boss types, paths, different sorts of events. I don't even know how to describe some of the things that are going to happen in this game, but you'll see. But the big distinguishing feature of what makes this game different from most things, other than the fact that it's procedurally generated, is the fact that your ship actually comes equipped with a drill. Something I haven't really seen done before. So at certain points in this game, you're going to actually run into planets, and you're going to have to drill through the planets. And this actually works with bosses too occasionally. If you don't activate your drill in time, you're just going to slam into it, and that'll be the end of you. So, yeah, we'll see that when we get to it. This is one of the first bosses, and, well, I say first loosely because, like I said, it's a procedurally generated game, so every time you play it, there's going to be a slightly different order to how things go. Wasn't too hard to take him out, and as seems to be a recurring trend nowadays, dinosaurs in space. We're back to that. We get to a very strange place in this this particular run-through where I actually end up like in a warp dimension, and things start slowing down and turning more and more red, and it gets a little bit terrifying for a few moments here. There's like a Silent Hill-esque siren going off in the background, and I don't know quite what to make of it, so I'm just going to try my best not to die. Time and space start to slow down to such a point that I'm actually leaving giant trails of bullets, and I can't quite keep track of my ship. And that's one of my biggest criticisms with this game, is it's often very difficult to find where you are on the screen. With all the beautiful effects and colors and smears and blurs going on, your little dot of a ship just tends to sort of disappear. And this is not even the worst of when that'll happen. You'll see later on I start to go into like a hyperspeed mode, and it's pretty hard to even keep track of anything, like let alone your ship. You can't even find where it's safe to be at all. But it's got beautiful graphics, beautiful music, the animation in it, and the color effects. Everything is top-notch. It's just maybe there's a few too many of them. So you'll see I'm picking up these little bits of what they call Stardust, and those are actually used in Classic Mode to upgrade your ship. And you'll see there's actually a long list. You probably noticed when we started up, there was a long list of different features you could add onto your ship to make it better. And there's one of the multi-pads, which actually lets you upgrade your multiplier and get a higher score. And largely that's what this game is about, is just getting the highest score possible however you can. Usually that means staying alive for a long time, but sometimes it means just racking up really good score combos. And then you can see I get a crazy laser. So here's the planet drilling feature. And you actually want to aim for those multi-pads, and there's other types of pads in addition. There's like bomb ones and laser speed upgrades. And those will stick with you for as long as you're alive, which is usually not particularly long. I'm actually having a particularly good run on this one. I usually don't last more than about a minute or so, but you know, occasionally you get lucky or you find a good path through things. And this is one of the more bullet hell-esque bosses. Not particularly difficult as long as you stay concentrated on where you are on the screen. And it also helps a lot that I upgraded my shield, which when you start the game you don't have any shield, it's one hit and you're dead. So I shot that little power-up down on the bottom, and it slows down everything for me so I can get a little bit better angle on what's going on. Not have to worry so much about the bullets that are everywhere. And we're moving on. You see the lovely lighting effects as I leave a trail of bullets for you again. And here's some hyperspeed action where you'll see I have a really hard time keeping track of where I am. And then things get a little bit more crazy and invert colors for some reason, but that's just how this game rolls. And then we have some like Super Meat Boy-esque saw blades flying everywhere, and then the frame rate starts to go down, which unfortunately does happen occasionally. Recording or not, I find that this game doesn't have perfect frame rate, but usually it doesn't make a huge difference. You're probably gonna die in that sequence anyway. And that'll be the end of me. Some stray bullet or something took me out. So, 5 minutes, that's pretty good, I think. And you can upload your score and see like an analytics statistic bar running at the bottom of where your high score moments were, which is kind of cool. This game keeps very good track of all the stats. And you'll see after this is done, I get to go back and spend all my star bits on all the different options here. And there's stuff like faster lasers, stronger lasers, extra lasers. You can leave mines, you can make your ship faster, you can equip a shield. And there's also a vortex ability which you can use, which is sort of like a bomb for self-defense, where you actually engage your drill and it spins you in a circle, and through that you actually can block a lot of attacks. So that's something to upgrade to. So as if that last one wasn't hard enough, we're actually going to go back in for a much harder difficulty mode. And we have a lot to choose from, actually. A lot of them are unlockable. And you'll see there's also achievement tracking and stuff on the side there, and you can see your progress on them. But all of those modes, with the exception of 1 or 2, were locked at the beginning, and after a little bit of play I got to all of them. So this is Hell Mode. I think it's the hardest thing available, and we get to actually pick a perk, and I go for the 40x multiplier, because I just find that's the easiest way to get a high score with this game. So we go right back into things, and you'll notice in the first 10 seconds or so we're already into a bit of a mess because those force fields, I can't shoot through any of them, and I just gotta start dodging like a maniac. Look at that mess. I don't even know where to go, but somehow, since I guess I have enough practice with these types of games, I found my way through them. Bullet hell for certain. And then there's just like bosses flying around, not even in boss mode, just like hanging out. And we'll work on him for a minute. And the colors get even more crazy in Hell Mode because, you know, that wasn't hard enough before. It's rare when the visual effects contribute significantly to the difficulty of a game, but this is definitely a case when that does happen. And I made pretty short work of that guy. See, I'm pretty happy spinning my laser in a circle. And this is definitely the type of game you want to play with an analog stick equipped controller if possible. If it weren't for my 360 controller, I would not be able to be doing nearly as much here as I am. And you'll see I don't last too much longer. But probably to be expected given the amount of sheer chaos that's on the screen right now. Like, I'm actually supposed to know what's going on through that because I'm playing the game, but I don't. I'm just hoping for the best. So you'll see, I think this is about the end right there. And that's really all I could do for this. But I spent quite a while playing this game. It's a terrific game. Highly recommended. And this is 10 indie minutes with Really Big Sky. Go check it out. Thanks for watching, guys.